Now I want to talk about the alternative options to TikTok that maybe you're not as familiar with. And I'll start with a little disclaimer. I was watching Yahoo Finance the other day, and they had a social media expert come on, and the social media expert recommended the usual suspects and then started talking about sites or apps that aren't even active anymore. She started talking about Byte. If you don't know about Byte, Byte was a platform that was, active a couple of years ago. They were created by the former founders of Vine, and then they were bought out by an app called Clash. If you go onto the internet now and look for Clash or Byte, it is a hot mess, and if you find it, drop it in the comments somewhere, because it's crazy that people are on national television right now giving bad information to folks like you. So that's why we're here, and this episode is super important. So let's jump in to these alternatives that are not so well known to replace TikTok. First one, and this one is number one in the App Store right now. It is going crazy. If you haven't heard about it, it's called Red Note. Now, Red Note is made by a Chinese company, so there is some conflict there. Maybe in the future it might be banned, but I would say that I jumped in and tried it out, and it seems very comparable to TikTok. And there is a movement right now on TikTok where people are migrating over there, so it's definitely worth checking out. I would say if you have any concerns around privacy, that's something you have to keep in mind, that the US government banning TikTok, a lot of it was rooted in privacy reasons, and with Red Note, you would definitely be giving your information to a Chinese company. So if you're comfortable with that, then I would definitely try it out. The next one is a Black-owned company, one that I'm really high on. I'm talking about Fanbase. One thing that's beautiful about Fanbase is that you have the ability to import up to 1,000 of your TikToks. So I've been a user of Fanbase, but I started a new account and I tried that migration and it's still loading. So I don't know how long it takes, where the videos pop up, but I would say that is a very interesting selling proposition for you, like when you think about which app you want to try out, because you can carry over some of your TikToks if you're an active TikTok user. The next one is another popular one, and again, I'm going in order of the ones that I think will be the most relevant in the next few years. So I'm going Red Note, Fanbase, and number 3 is Flip. Now, Flip is a platform where there's a lot of online selling, but I think people are also creating content just so their community can connect with them. So I haven't been active on Flip, but I'm going to definitely download that one. I have downloaded Fanbase and Red Note. Number 4 on the list is Lemon8. Now, Lemon8 is going to be a nice short-term solution. It is a ByteDance company, so it's owned by the same company that owns TikTok and CapCut. So there will be the ability to connect your TikTok to Lemon8 and get some of your content over there, I believe. So in the short term, it might work. However, I think long term, if they're going to ban TikTok, if they're going to ban CapCut, eventually this ban will likely impact Lemon8. So I wouldn't pour too much into Lemon8. If you are testing out all of the platforms, I do think it's worth kind of messing around with it, but I wouldn't put all of my lemons, if you will, into that basket. And I'm going to stop sharing numbers now. I'm going to just kind of go through the list. The next one is Triller. Triller is an app that I'm very familiar with. It started off really as a music TikTok clone. If you guys are familiar with the versus battles with Swiss Beats and Timbaland, this is a platform that was partnering with them on that. And Triller also, like Lemon8 and like Fanbase, will provide you the ability to migrate your content over. I do believe with Triller, though, there's a separate app that they created for you to do that. So I wouldn't, again, Triller's been around, so I think it will be relevant, but I don't think it's going to be able to replace TikTok. Clapper is the next one, and it is another TikTok clone. Clapper is kind of like the right-wing political version of TikTok. It allows a little more freedom in terms of what people can do and say. I've definitely been active on that platform when it first came out, and the user experience is a little clunky compared to TikTok, but definitely something, especially if you're your position is a right-wing position, it might be a good place for you to hang out. The next one is not so good, but I'm going to still shout it out. This one is called BlamFam. That's BLAAMFAM. And the reason I say BlamFam is not that good is because I had the most difficult time trying to create my account. So I have it on my device right now, but I have not had the ability to sign in. It's just been kind of messy. The next one is the Spill app. Spill is a little different than TikTok. It's almost like X meets TikTok a little bit, but again, not one I'm very high on. And then there's We Kinfolk. Again, We Kinfolk is not one that I'm super high on. There's another one with a live feed only. Well, this is really interesting. So you can't create the content and just post it or draft it. You actually have to go live. This one is called Likee. That's Likee. There's another platform called Favorites that I haven't had a chance to check out. And the last one is currently in beta waitlist mode. So we're waiting for it to roll out. I am on a waitlist, and that one is called Neptune. So that's a list of all of the alternative TikTok applications that I found for you. This is a huge list. I'll drop some, I don't know if I'll be able to drop links to all of them, but I'll definitely type out the names if me pronouncing them was off to make sure that you guys can find them easily in your app store. So now what's next steps? I've been on the hilltop since I started my journey of building my business and starting my business. On the hilltop, telling people to start an email list and stop operating on rented land. What do I mean? When we go to a Facebook, Instagram, Meta, any Meta platform, TikTok, YouTube, essentially, we're inviting our audience to hang out in a building that we don't own. So if the landlord of this building, in this case, TikTok, closes up shop or decides that they don't want us to live in that house anymore, we have to leave. We get evicted. And what happens? In most cases, you can't take everything out of your house if they come and tell you got to go. You might be able to grab a few things. So some people might migrate over from TikTok to a fan base. They might migrate with you and come over to the new platform that you're hanging out on if you go to Rednote. But how many people are you going to lose? The only way to guarantee that you don't lose contact with your community, with your followers, with your subscribers, is to build a freaking email list. And if you want to go above and beyond, then what I would do is also build a phone list. Name, email address, phone number. You could build out your email capture to get those 3 bits of information. And now I can call my people, text my people, email my people. That is what I would recommend. So if you haven't done it, take this as a wake-up call. That is the great news about the TikTok ban, that is going to force so many of you to decide on shifting your approach to building an audience. You can't build an audience on rented land because it's not your audience. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the platform. So that would be my big picture recommendation in terms of these platforms where I would create. I would test them all and find out where you enjoy spending time. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments wherever you're listening or watching to this episode if you want more content like this. Talk to you soon.